George Stevens, creator of such masterpieces as Giant and his Academy Award-winning A Place in the Sun, enlarges the scope of the screen with a motion picture whose monumental background is matched by the stature of its moving human drama. Drama that began when a mysterious stranger rode in from out of nowhere to play a decisive role in the lives of these rugged pioneers.
You can call me Shane.
Shane, who attracted the woman with his quiet strength, who fascinated the boy with the glint of his gun.
We'd all be much better off if there wasn't a single gun left in this valley.
A gun is as good or bad as the man using it.
From the clash of elemental forces, George Stevens has created a motion picture unforgettable for its spectacle and scope, its great human story, its deadly conflict.
I've heard about you.
What have you heard, Shane?
I've heard that you're a low-down Yankee liar.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Brahma Bulletin. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you. Well, unfortunately, I won't be joined by XFLMikeG today. He had to step out due to personal reasons, and I hope everything goes well with him, and we'll see each other again soon. So, with that out of the way, let's get talking about the upcoming games that we have. We have the San Antonio Brahmas facing off against the St. Louis Battle Chickens, and then we have the San Antonio Gunslingers facing off against the Vegas Nighthawks. So, without further ado, let's get into the Brahmas news. So before we get into the Brahmas and the Battle Chickens game, I want to go over some news that recently happened since the last show. Now, some of this news is probably not new to anybody, but for those who are not in the know, there's a little bit of updates. So the Brahmas have been very busy in the transactions in the last couple of days. We know that wide receiver TJ Vasher was released. Kicker destroying Donald De La Haye was injured in the Showboats game, and he is out for the season. Replacing him is kicker Ryan Santoso. Center Alex Millette was also injured during the Showboats game, and he's been placed in IR. Looks like he's going to be out for 5 weeks. There is some hope that he will be back for the end of the season, but in the meantime, the Brahmas signed center Alex Philstrom as a replacement. Also recently, the Brahmas signed quarterback Cam Dancer. Now, he is a former Viking, so I have a lot of rooting interest in Cam Dancer. And also, we have signed wide receiver Calvin Turner. Now, Calvin Turner was with the Brahmas during the training camp session, and he was released. And it was kind of like a surprise release, but now he is back. So those are some of the news of the Battlehawks. Some of the news for the Brahmas before the Battlehawks game. Now, I do have a special guest that'll be joining me today. Unfortunately, like I said, Mike G was not here, but to take his place, we do have someone who's going to be joining us, giving us a little bit of insight behind the lines. I would like to welcome Brian. Hi, Brian. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, Brian, if you wouldn't mind taking a little bit of time introducing yourself and letting people know who you are.
Yeah, so my name's Brian, and I am a St. Louis native. I currently am riding for AFN, which is maybe some of you know RJ through AFN or through other various things, but we're sort of like pseudo co-workers in a way, that maybe or maybe not volunteer base. We're not necessarily getting paid. Maybe we are, I'm not sure. But yeah, we and I do a lot of Battlehawk coverage. I'm a huge Chicago sports fan, and I'm from Chicagoland area. And I moved down to St. Louis, and I had no sports teams. I had, the Cardinals are the Cubs' biggest rivals, and I'm a big Cubs fan.
Mm-hmm.
The Blues are one of the bigger rivals of the Blackhawk hockey team, and that's those were the sports teams in St. Louis at the time. So I was kind of stuck with no team to root for, and then the Battlehawks came to town, and I was like, finally something I can get passionate about and not feel awkward when I go to games, and actually be rooting against the home team. So. Yeah, so I'm a big Battlehawks fan. I ride a lot for AFN, and just a lot of Battlehawks coverage. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for that, Brian. So, as we know, there is a big battle between the Brahmas and the Battlehawks coming up this weekend. So let's get into it. So I have a little bit of insight here that I like to do. All right. We have the game day. It is going to be held on Sunday, April the 14th at 2 p.m. Central Time here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Right now, the weather report is saying it's going to be 85 degrees, partly cloudy, with an 8% chance of rain, with 15 mile per hour winds. So not too bad for all you tailgaters out there. Not too bad for South Texas. All right, the gambling lines. The St. Louis are 2-point favorites, and the over/under is 42. All right. So, Brian, since you are the guest, why don't you give me your keys to victory? What do you think that the Battlehawks need to do to win this game?
Yeah, so one of the big things that San Antonio is just sort of hitting home this season is good game management on offense. So Chase Garbers is a very good game management quarterback. But he's also not a deep threat quarterback. So what he does is he likes to give the ball into short open field space to running backs, wide receivers, Latimer, and sort of let them make the plays for him. And I think the keys for the Battlehawks, at least on the defensive end, is sort of that bend don't break concept of you'll have to give up some of those short pass plays. That's just a given because it's hard to defend those unless you're playing tight coverage. But try not to let the big plays develop. Try not to let those explosive players get into the backfield. So I think from the defensive end, just letting the men up front just sort of get through and create some pressure as well. And that's, you can reverse it with the Brahmas as well. That's one of the things that we struggled with, the Battlehawks struggled with in week 1 against Michigan, was the pressure on AJ McCarron. So, and that's one of, the Brahmas strong suit is the defense. So, yeah, I think, and then as far as offense goes, just keep doing what we're doing. Last week was a perfect example of a team correcting in the right way we replaced our running back basically last week. We had an inactive running back in week 1 that was basically our running back 1 this past week, Mateo Durant. He came in, he rushed for the most rushing yards of the week with like 106 or something, 100, whatever rushing yards last week. And obviously AJ McCarron is a really solid quarterback. He's a good game manager, but he also is he's a deep threat quarterback as well. So just keep doing what we're doing on offense and play solid coverage defense, that not giving up the big plays in the hands of explosive players is how I kind of feel like we'll win this week's game.
Sure. All right. So what Brahma player or players should the Battlehawks be most concerned about?
I think of McFarland and Kirkland are my number one. They're the explosive players in my eyes. If they get the ball in open field, it's just trouble. So I think just being aware of them on defense, and you saw, especially in week 1, you saw a lot of their potential. They get the ball, and they're not even the people that people automatically think of on the team. Like you're thinking of Latimer and Garber's making a lot of moves. Even rushing, he had a lot of good rushing plays. But Garber's, I think I saw he only passed the ball longer than, I was thinking week 1 and 2, I'd have to go back, but the ball wasn't in the air longer than like 15 yards. Like it was usually 10 or less yards in the air. So, and that's where Kirkland, I'm afraid of Kirkland because he's got that crazy speed, and McFarland is just so explosive. Those are the people I'm worried about.
All right. Excellent. So as a fan, what are you most confident about in your team?
Yeah. So, I'm really confident in our edge rushing on defense. So Peter Taumapenu won Defensive Player of the Year last year for good reason. He just brings pressure. I'm sure if it's not league leading, it's close to the top 5, if not top 3 in pass rushing. And he's somebody on defense to keep an eye out on. We don't also big names on defense. Willie Harvey and Travis Feeney are sort of like tried and true solid linebackers for us. We really struggled week 1 with run defense, and I think we sort of picked it up this past week. But Feeney and Taupenu and who was the other guy I said? Travis Feeney, Willie Harvey. Those are the big linebackers, and I'm like, pay attention to those guys. But on offense, I'm very confident, just from a fan's perspective. I mentioned his name earlier, but Mateo Durant is a solid running back for us. Week 1, there was no run game. Like if you went back and watched the Battlehawk game, there was no run game. And I don't know if it was because of just poor scheming or our line was just not doing great. But what I do know is the coaching staff saw issues with our one running back, Jacob Sailors, and they sent him down in the inactive list. So he's no longer on the active list. And Mateo Durant, when he was brought up, he made a huge difference. I am worried about that. Like the Renegades aren't a team that they're not necessarily known for their great defense.
Right.
They're more known for their solid offensive scheming and just a solid, game manager in Luis Perez. But that is what the Brahmas are known for. They're known for their solid defense and causing disruption and takeaways. And so I'm a little bit worried about that. But AJ McCarron would be the actual answer. I think AJ McCarron is going to be as a fan's perspective, it's always fun to watch AJ McCarron do his thing, passing to Akeem Butler, passing to Marcel Aitman, who leads the league in receiving yards. AJ is so good, and it's awesome to have him back.
Absolutely. And that kind of played along with what my next question is what, as a fan, what worries you the most?
Yeah, I mean, so it just in general, when we're thinking of the Battlehawks, what worries me, it usually comes down to our defense not being able to, I guess, sort of disrupt drives. Like we saw it time and time again. Like 3rd and longs, we have a horrible job at stopping 3rd and longs for some reason. We have, when teams get in the groove against us, it's usually not a good sign. But the one shining spot is our QB pressure rate. So that if we can keep that going up, I think it'd be a little bit less worrisome for me. But I am very worried about sort of our defensive backs and our, giving up those big plays. It just kind of seems like it's inevitable. Maybe not necessarily big plays, but not being able to stop drives is our sort of been our issue. But
Okay, excellent. So I will give my keys to victory. I believe our first key is that we need to come out of the gate on fire. Now, we struggled mightily in the first half. Actually, pretty much like 3 3/4 of the game. We couldn't really do anything against the Showboats until the last 5 minutes. And we had to win in a very dramatic comeback. And I think we need to replicate what we did against the DC Defenders in the very first game, where we came out on fire, scored first possession, and offense was clicking. We cannot have a repeat of Memphis against the Battlehawks. And I say my second key is that we need to improve on the 3rd down conversions. Once again, we were very, very bad on 3rd downs. We were 3 for 11 against Memphis, which is improvement. Against DC. We only converted 1 3rd down, so trending upward, I guess. But our defense, I think, is one of the tops in the league, but we need to give it breaks. We need to be able to keep the offense on the field, keep the clock ticking, and give that defense a break. And to do that, we need to convert on 3rd downs. And I say that we need to rattle AJ McCarron. He looked very comfortable against Arlington. Week 1, he looked a little off, looked a little rusty, didn't look like the AJ McCarron we saw last year. But against Arlington, he looked much more efficient, and we definitely cannot have him comfortable in the pocket. So we need to rattle him. We have been doing a very good job at pressuring the quarterback and getting home and bull rushing the quarterback. But I think we need to continue that trend. And bonus key, I say that the next man needs to step up. Now, the injury bug, unfortunately, has hit us pretty hard. We know that kicker Donald De La Haye, or Destroying, is out for the year with that broken neck. And our center, Alex Mollett, the hero of week 1 with his thick 6, he was also injured during the Showboats game, and he is out for the next 5 weeks. There is hope that he will be back for the end of the season, but we need the next man to step up. And as I said in introduction, we have picked up some players to replace those. But yeah, next man up for us.
That's right. And so Cam Dantzler has come on to the roster. What do you think are the odds that he'll actually play this week? Do you think there's a good chance, or do you think he'll, because he's in the inactive right now, right?
Right. Yeah, he's inactive. We just picked him up today, I think, when the announcement was made, and the game is Sunday. I don't think there's a really good chance that he will play, or if he does play, it's not going to be like significant reps.
Right.
Probably just be out there for a couple plays. But I mean, it's Cam Dantzler. He was on my team. I'm a Vikings fan, and so when I saw his name come across the wire, I was very excited about that, and I thought he did a good job with the Vikings. So he'll step in really, really smoothly with the team. But yeah, I don't think he's going to play a lot of reps this Sunday.
I will say I'm very relieved that he did come in so late in the week for that reason, because I'm like, the last thing we need is somebody to shut us down, in our passing game. But because that's the one, really clear strength on our team. So, but we'll see. We'll play each other again later in the Battle Dome. So
yes, for the first time, we haven't played in the chicken coop so far. So It'll be good to actually play them.
I would say, if you ever get a chance to go, or if you know anybody that has gone, it's so much fun. And, even the opposing teams will come and they'll say like, it's so much fun to play in that environment, because they'll still get the love, that as if, like, hey, you're playing professional football. This is cool. But they're also going to get, a lot of chirping, it's so much fun.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it is a game changer. Playing away is a hard, uh, you know, dichotomy for the Battlehawks. You have an
Right.
amazing home environment, and then you go to a place that's like, very opposite.
Right.
Not saying that'll be with the Brahmas. The Brahmas bring a lot of energy. The fans bring a lot of energy to their games. It's just, it's also, it's not the same, everybody's packed in the bottom of the bowl screaming. So,
Right. Right. Yeah,
but
we've got to give your team all the credit in the world. I mean, your fan base is bringing it. I mean, 40,000 plus last game. I mean, that's amazing considering everything else that's going on during that day. So,
mhm.
props to St. Louis for showing out and showing up. That's amazing.
Yeah, showing out in the battle coop.
Right.
I've never heard that. That's hilarious.
All right, Brian. So, do you have any game predictions for us? What are your predictions for this game against the Brahmas?
Yeah, I mean, I would bet the under. I mean, I not that, I don't think it's going to be a good amount of scoring. It's just that I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be very run heavy. A lot of time taken off the clock, uh, and as we saw in week 1, the Battlehawks, when they play good defense, they kind of have to resort to similar gameplay that
Mhm.
Garbers has, which is, passing short and taking what you can get. And so I'm going to bet the under. Some of my stronger prediction, I want to say Hakeem Butler's going to get, I think, his first touchdown of the year. I think it would be his first touchdown of the year. I'll probably, that's one of my stronger predictions too. And yeah, I think that's what I would have. I would guess that McCarron won't throw an interception. He hasn't thrown an interception yet, I don't believe.
Okay.
Um, but I would probably guess he's going to pass under like 230 yards. I think he's going to pass under that. Um, so I guess those are my predictions. We'll have to clip this and remind me what they are for later, or I'll go back and watch and document to see if I was actually right. But and then yeah, I don't have any predictions for the Brahmas, except they're kind of a wild card. Like, they did awesome, exactly what you're saying. They did awesome against DC, who is arguably the best team in last year in the XFL. And then they play, the Memphis Showboats, who, they're people argue that the USFL isn't as competitive, and then they, barely come out, victorious there. So I'm not entirely sure what to expect with the Brahmas at this point, so I'm a little, dumbfounded as to, what to even think about what will happen. So that's sort of how I feel.
All right. So I got you with you said you were going to take the over, or was that the under?
The
All
under. I'm
right.
going to bet the under.
All right. So you're taking the under, and you said that AJ was going to pass for
Less than 230.
under 230 yards, and Hakeem Butler will get his first touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I'm
All
thinking.
right. Wrote them down, and we'll see how you do.
All right.
All right, Brian, before I let you go, do you have any closing thoughts, or did you have anything that you would like to promote since you got this little time in the spotlight?
Yeah, no, definitely follow AFN if you haven't followed it. It's been awesome. Like, a lot of good people creating a lot of good content, article writing, and good shows like this. And Vamos Brahmas, I believe, is on there too, which is pretty awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
follow them. And personal stuff, if you want to follow me on Twitter, that's awesome. If you don't, I understand. I post weird stuff all the time. But yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble for a little bit.
Oh, you're good, Brian. Thank you for giving us a little bit of insight behind enemy lines with the Battlehawks.
Definitely.
All right, Brian. We'll talk to you later, and I'll look forward to seeing you again.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. All right. That was Brian Getzer, a contributor here with the Alternative Football Network, with his thoughts on the St. Louis Battle Chickens. And thank you for Brian for coming on the show and giving his insight. So, moving right along, I'm going to go into the prediction accountability segment. Mike and I did our predictions for the Brahma Showboat game. So, let's see how we did. Well, my prediction, I said that Chase Garbers would throw for more than 2 touchdowns. And that is, yes, Chase Garbers did, in fact, throw for more than 2 touchdowns. My next prediction, I said that Destroying will make his first field goal. Yeah, he did not make a field goal, and as we all know, he is out for this season. Best wishes to him on a speedy recovery. My third prediction is that the defense will allow under 50 yards of rushing. That was incorrect. Actually, the Showboats got way more than 50 yards of rushing in the game. And my last prediction, I said that the defense will record 3 or more sacks. And that is correct. All right. Now, Mike's predictions, his first one, he said that Destroying will kick 2 field goals. And we know that was not correct because the Brahmas have not even attempted a field goal all season long. Mike's next prediction, he said that 4 players will catch 4 or more catches. Yeah, unfortunately, there was 3 players that caught 4 or more catches, but did not get that 4th one. And his next prediction, he said that the Brahmas will win 26-22. And that was also incorrect. All right, so looking at the statistics here, the tracker, this week I went 2 for 2, so I was right on 50% of my predictions. Mike went 0 for 3, so he was at 0%. The viewers this week, they shied away. They did not make a single prediction for this game, so they are still at 0%. So overall, I am 2 for 7, so I'm 22% accuracy. Mike is 2 for 5 with a 28% accuracy, and the viewers are 0 for 8. They are at 0% accuracy. All right. Not too good for us when it comes to the predictions. All right. So, for any viewers out there that are watching, if you have your predictions, please let me know. I will go ahead and write them down, make note of them, and we'll see how you compare against us. As you just saw during our accountability section, me and Mike, we ain't doing so well when it comes to our predictions. All right, Pete. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Vamos Brahmos as well too. And Pete, it looks like you said that you predict Garbers will throw for over 300 yards. All right, I will write that down right now. So, Pete, you said Garbers 300 yards passing. All right, got you down, Pete. See how you do. And you also say that if Dancer plays, he will get 1 takeaway. Very, very nice. Now, I'm a big Vikings fan, and when I saw that Cam Dancer was signed on the team, I was super excited. Always good to see Vikings on the Brahmas team. All right, so Dancer, 1 takeaway. All right, got you on that one as well too, brother. Thanks, Pete, for those predictions. All right, so next up, we are going to do. All right. Yes, we are going to do my game predictions. Let's see what I predict for this game. My first prediction, I said the Brahmas will score on their opening drive. Opening drive, we will score. Whether it is a field goal or a touchdown, I believe we will score on our opening drive. My next prediction, I say the Chase Garbers will finish with a completion percentage of over 70%. So right now he is at, I think, 76 or 78% completion percentage for the season, and I think he's going to continue that with a 70% completion against the Battlehawks. My next prediction, I say the defense will not allow a touchdown in the red zone. So far, our defense has shut down the opposing teams in the red zone all year. The only touchdown we've given up which was against the Showboats, and they were not in the red zone. So I think the defense will continue, and they will shut out the Battlehawks while they're in the red zone. And my next prediction, I say the defense will allow under 250 yards of total offense. Under 200 total yards of offense. Those are my predictions for the Brahmas game. Let's see how I did. Hopefully, it's a lot better than what I've been doing lately because it has not been so hot. And I say that my final score prediction, I say it's going to be Brahmas 31, Battlehawks 19, and we are going to go to 3-0, and we're going to take first place in the XFL conference and make it even larger. It's a big game for both teams because right now the Brahmas are 2-0, the Battlehawks are 1-1. If Seattle wins and the Brahmas lose, both teams will be 2-1, but with St. Louis with the tiebreaker, they move into first place. However, if we win, we just make that lead bigger, and I do not want to give up the lead. So I think we will go to 3-0 and we will defeat the Battlehawks. All right. That's our segment when it comes to the San Antonio Brahmas. So let's move on to the San Antonio Gunslingers. And let's get to that. All right. So last week, the San Antonio Gunslingers played their home opener against the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Unfortunately, we fell short with our furious comeback that we had, and we lost to the Northern Arizona Wranglers. And right now, unfortunately, the Gunslingers are now 0-2. So their bounty against the Wranglers, they escaped. So the Arizona Wranglers are still escaped convicts waiting for capture. So my key takeaways for the game against the for the San Antonio Gunslingers, I think that our defense continues to be our Achilles heel. Last game it was the pass against San Diego. This game it was the run game. I mean, we gave up 99 yards of rushing against the Wranglers. It was just porous defense. So week one, it was our pass defense that was porous, and now against the Wranglers, it was the run defense. My next takeaway against the Wranglers was that the running game continues to struggle. Our quarterback, Sam Casanova, gained 9 of the 10 yards on the ground. Yes, that is not a typo. We only got 10 yards of rushing on the ground, and our quarterback got 9 of them. We have to get our running game going, and it has to be someone other than Sam Casanova. I mean, we just can't have our quarterback being the leading rusher, uh, especially Sam Casanova. He's basically carrying this team, and we cannot risk any type of injury. So we got to get that running game going. All right, my next key takeaway was that the offense has had no problem scoring. I mean, I think we are the highest scoring offense in the IFL. We're scoring more than any other team in the league. We just are giving up too many points. Too many points. So our offense, I think, will continue to cook. We just got to tighten up on defense. And our offensive line struggled to protect Sam. We gave up 3 sacks against the Wranglers. Now, against the Strike Force, I don't think we gave up a sack at all. But our line did seem to struggle a lot, and we gave up those 3 sacks. So definitely need to improve on that. All right, so my gunslinger of the week for week 2, well, it's actually week 4, but week 2 for those gunslingers, it was Sam Casanova. I mean, right now he's basically the only player that's that's doing a lot, and he went 12 for 21 for 199 yards passing with 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. So until the rest of the team picks up, he's going to have to continue to carry the load. Now, I got to give out to a shout out to Zach Brown. He did get that fumble recovery for a touchdown on defense. So there is some hope for our defense. We just got to be more consistent with everything. All right. So we're going to move on to the game against the Nighthawks. Let's get to it. All right, so this is week 5 of the IFL, and this is going to be the third game for the Gunslingers, and we are playing the Vegas Nighthawks. So for the game day, it's going to be on Friday, April the 12th at 9:05 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:05 p.m. Central Time this Friday. It's at Lee's Family Forum. It used to be called the Dollar Loan Center, but they just changed the name like a couple days ago. So it's now the Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada. The weather says it's going to be 76 degrees, overcast with 12% chance of rain with 16-mile-an-hour winds. So for those who are going to be out there tailgating, if tailgating is authorized out there in Henderson, it doesn't look like it's going to be that bad of weather. Now, the gambling line, it says that Vegas are 7.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 102.5 points. So Vegas, not the Nighthawks, but Vegas is saying that it's going to be a high scoring game. All right. So let's get into Mike and I's prediction accountability for last week. All right. My first prediction, I said that Sam Casanova will throw for more than 4 touchdowns again. That was correct. All right. My next prediction, I said the defense will force 1 turnover, and that was just mentioned that Zach Brown did force the fumble and recovered the ball in the end zone for a defensive touchdown. My next prediction, I said that Austin Upshaw will catch 1 touchdown. That was incorrect. And my last prediction, I said that the Gunslingers will kick a deuce, and that is correct. They finally capitalized and scored their first deuce of the year. Moving on to Mike. Mike said that Sam Casanova will throw for 5 or more touchdowns. That was incorrect. And his next prediction, he said that the Gunslingers will score more than 60 and surrender less than 40 points. That was incorrect. And our viewers, Janie Holland said that the Gunslingers will win. That was incorrect. And Jamar Washington said the Gunslingers will win 57-51. That was incorrect. So looking at the tracker for week 4, I was 3 for 4. So I got 3 right. I was wrong 1 time. So I was 75% accurate for this week. Mike went 1 for 1. So he was on 50% correct on his. And the viewers are 0 for 2. And they are not doing so well. So overall, I am 4 for 4. I'm 50% accurate. Mike is 2 for 3. He's 40% accurate. And the viewers have yet to get anything right. They are 0 for 5 on the season. So again, if you have any predictions for the game, let me know. I'll record them and see how you do against us. Just like in the Browns predictions, Mike and I are not doing so hot, but it's all in good fun. We're just having a lot of fun with this and see how our prediction are. All right, moving on to the keys to victory. These are my keys to victory against the Vegas Nighthawks. I say the Gunslingers defense needs to tighten things up. Against San Diego, it was a pass defense that struggled. Against Northern Arizona, it was the run game. The defense has not put together a complete game. Like I said earlier, it's either one. It's either a pass or a run defense is very porous. We have yet to put a complete game together defensively. And I do think that Our game against Vegas will be an opportunity for us to get things together. My next key, I said the running game needs to get going. Sam Casanova ran for 9 of the 10 yards we gained. We only gained 1 yard of rushing by our running backs. Again, I cannot say this enough. It's been my key all season. The running game is not doing so well. Keyshawn Harper, for whatever reason, whether it's offensive line, whether it's just not good execution, whether it's the opposing teams know what's going on, but our running backs, they've only rushed for like 4 yards all season long, and that is unacceptable. We need to change that. My next key is that San Castronova needs to continue to carry load until the run game and the defense steps up. Right now, he's basically carrying the team. He's the one that's passing for all the touchdowns. He's running for touchdowns. He's passing all the yards. He's rushing for most of the yards. He's basically a one-man show right now. And until our defense steps up and does their part and our running game contributes to the team, he's going to have to continue to be the man. Unfortunately, he's just going to have to carry the load. And my game predictions for this game. My first prediction is that Sam Casanova will score at least 4 touchdowns himself. That'll be running and or passing. So a combination of 4 touchdowns at least. Sam Casanova will produce 4 touchdowns. He has done it so far. I see no reason for him to not continue this trend. My next prediction, I said our running backs will gain 20 or more yards of rushing. Now, this is a huge leap because I just got done ranting about how our running game has been non-existent, and I don't think our running backs has even gained 20 yards total for the whole year. So I'm kind of stepping out right now by saying our running backs will gain 20 more yards of rushing by our running backs. My next prediction, I said the defense will surrender less than 50 yards of rushing. Now, against San Diego, we did. Against North Arizona, we did not. We almost gave up 100 yards of rushing to the Wranglers. But I think we'll return to form, and we will not give up more than 50 yards of rushing. And my last prediction, I said the Gunslingers will stop the Nighthawks on 4th down at least one time. Now, in the IFL, it's scoring. Scoring is very, very high. So getting a stop on 4th down is crucial. We've done it so far this year, and I think we'll continue to do that again. Now, my final score prediction. I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to say it's going to be San Antonio Gunslingers get their first victory in the IFL, 49-34 over the Vegas Nighthawks. And that's it. That is my predictions for the game, and that's my predictions for the Brahmas, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And best wishes to Mike, who was unfortunately unable to join me tonight. And again, thank you to Brian for stepping up and being the guest and giving us a little insight behind enemy lines with the Brahmas and Battlehawks game. Yes, Pete, I do agree with you. This is a huge game for the XFL conference standings. The Brahmas definitely do need to bring their A game. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cannot agree with you more. Well, folks, I think that's it for the video. It was pretty short and sweet. Looking forward to all the games. Before I do say goodbye, I want to mention that the Horns Ford podcast, they promoting a buy one, get one offer tickets. And now if you use the code that you can find on the Horns Ford Podcast Facebook page, they have a code there. You get that, you buy tickets using that code, and then the proceeds of those ticket sales will go to a cause that's helping fight childhood cancer. It's a very awesome cause, very well worth it. So please check out the Horns Ford Podcast site, their Facebook page. They'll give you a code. Use the code BOGO. BOGO, and then the tickets that you buy using them, like I said, a part of those proceeds will go to fighting childhood cancer, a well-worthy cause. All right. Now, if you guys have not done so already, I would actually recommend that you check out alternativefootballnetwork.com. This is a great website. This is a website that you can find all of our contributors on the AFN family. With the Insiders podcast, you have Texans Talking Football. I mean, there are two guys that are part of the Horns Forward podcast. You got My Silly Show that you're watching right now, Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Again, the Horns Forward podcast, so check them out. If you're into Canadian football, we got you covered. And you have the AFN interview series, Shady Sports Network, and Analyze and Educate. We also have articles here. We have original articles. We also repost articles other people have done. But you got articles like these two here. They were written by someone very, very good. It was written by me. So if you have not done so, please check it out, alternativefootballnetwork.com for your one-stop shop, everything alternative football. All right, guys, I think that's it. That's it for this video. Time for this Brahma to be put out to pasture. Yeah, at least until the next episode. Until then, San Antonio, horns forward and guns up. We'll catch y'all next time. Thank y'all so much. Have a great night.